too much to have the arm up, just bring it down to the hip. Deep breaths. Hello, welcome to my home and to Yoga with Christy Allen. I'm Christy. Today we're going to be working on our balance. I've discovered over my years of teaching yoga that this can be a really challenging aspect of our yoga practice. I've had people with me for probably about 10 or 12 years and they still struggle with their balance. So if this is you, take heart, you're not alone. It's a very common theme throughout the yoga world. But what I want you to do is make sure that you're listening to your mind during these pieces of the practice. Sometimes we tend to get really frustrated with ourselves and berate ourselves. And I encourage you to observe what's happening with your mind if you are struggling, and to maybe change our thought patterns and processes a little bit. So just have some fun with the practice. So some of the key elements to balance are: one, we need to have healthy feet. If we have tight feet, weak feet, tight ankles or weak ankles, this can cause a problem with our balance. So we'll be working on some waking up our feet, stretching them out, creating some strength. Just balancing will help with our strength. We'll start with that. Another key component to balance is also our core. The core is from the base of our pelvis all the way up through our chest. It also encompasses the back of our body as well as our glutes. So we'll be working to enliven that before we begin trying to actually balance on one foot. So for this practice today, you're going to want a block. We'll be using that a couple of times. And if you know that you do struggle with balance, please have a chair handy or set yourself up next to a wall so that you can easily grab onto that when we progress into the practice. And if you have any questions about the practice or anything related to the sequence, please leave it in the comments below. I'll check up on that and I can get back to you about that. And if you do like this video and you enjoy practicing with me, please go ahead and give it a like, and then you can also subscribe and I'll get some content out in a timely fashion. Thanks so much. We'll be getting on our back so you can get prepared for that. Beginning on your back. Toes pointing up towards the sky, noticing any patterns within the body, any alignment patterns. Typically the toes may point out towards the side or they may point to each other. So allow the feet to be directly up, palms open towards the sky as well. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. Breathing deeply into the belly. Relax the jaw. Long exhalations. And then beginning at the crown of the head, slowly work your awareness down, noticing the base of the skull where it connects with the ground. Beginning by traveling through past the occiput, which is where the skull connects with the spine, noticing the natural curve of the neck. Watch as the spine descends down towards the ground, where the low back connects, the shoulders connect, releasing there, letting tension go through the shoulders. Noticing where the spine begins to lift once again through the low back, the lumbar. Gentle curving up, and then a gentle reach down towards the ground until the sacrum and the buttocks connects with this ground as well. Check in with the feet, make sure the legs are still, or the toes are still pointing up towards the sky. And then from here, gather the knees into the belly, giving them a hug, soften into the low back. Rocking from side to side. Place the feet down onto the ground. Let's simply begin by extending the left leg up towards the sky, reaching through the heel, just finding the hamstring opening. Place that leg down onto the ground and extend the right leg up. Place the leg down, pause the video. From here, take your block And we're going to place it between the knees, just on the small side. Take a deep breath into the belly, find the belly lifting up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, we're gently going to begin to knit the ribs towards the pelvis. So you feel the tailbone tip up and the low back reach down towards the ground. Inhale up once again. Notice the expansion of the low back leaving the ground, and then exhale, bring that back down. We're going to exaggerate our next exhalation. So inhale up, and this time as you exhale, I want you to think about really flattening the lumbar down, reaching the tailbone up. Do that again, inhale. Exhale, exaggerating the flatness of the spine. Inhale, come back up. This time as you exhale, I want you to maintain a somewhat neutral curve of the spine, but still the intention of the pelvis and the ribs moving together. Inhaling up. Exhale, hip points to the ribs. Watch the low back. You want to maintain just a little bit of curve off the ground, repeating that a couple more times. So we're trying to maintain somewhat of a neutral curve of the spine. We don't want to force that low back down onto the ground. Again, if we ever force anything in yoga, that's typically where we get injured. So we need to be gentle and mindful of where our body is in space. Another deep breath in. Exhale, finding that neutral awareness in the spine. I want you to engage your glutes, give them a squeeze, and as you squeeze the glutes, begin to pick the hips up off the ground. We haven't warmed up the quadriceps, so be careful there. We don't have to move too deeply, too quickly. Hold, glutes are strong, enlivening them, waking them up. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Watch as the spine comes down. Lower down one vertebrae at a time. It's like you're laying a string of pearls down onto the ground. And then inhale, belly opens up. Exhale, lower the low back down, maintaining that natural curve. Inhale, engage the glutes, and then begin to pick up. Moving just a little bit deeper than you did last time. Exhale, slowly lower down. Let's do that again. Inhale, soften the belly, reaching it up. Exhale, neutral curve of the low spine. Engage the glutes. Allow the glutes to lift you up in this variation to bridge. Lift the chest up towards the chin. We're going to hold for a few breaths here. Strengthen through the lower section of the body. Find the hamstrings engaged, the glutes engaged. Keep the chest lifting towards the chin. And exhale, use the breath to push each vertebrae down as you come down, engaging and waking up the core. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's do that one more time. Maintain neutral curve. Feel the glutes lift. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hamstrings are lifting the femur bones from the back. Lift the chest up towards the heart center. See if you can go just a little bit more deeply than you did last time. Breathing. Beginning to generate heat in the body. And then now as you exhale, push each of the vertebrae down as you come down, bringing awareness to the spine. And soften here. Place the block off to the side. Draw the knees in towards the belly. Soften into the low back. You can rock back and forth. We're going to engage our core a little bit more here as well. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning, that is a crucial part to how we balance. So bringing our awareness back to that breath. Inhale for the belly, opening up. Exhale, begin to draw the pelvis towards the ribs, noticing how the lower back, or how the back of the ribs connect with the ground, but you still have that natural curve in the low back, so you're not forcing that down. See if you can maintain that neutral position. And from here, pick your left leg up. With your left leg, you want the leg to be at a 90-degree angle with the femur bone, and the shin is parallel to the ground with the toes open up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fully. Noticing as the low belly contracts, you can place your hands there. Maybe lengthen that out a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Long, slow exhalation, pushing all the air out, engaging through the base of that pelvis. Do one more breath like that. Exhale. Slow, push all the air out. Feel that gentle contraction right across the top of the pelvis, right under the navel, and place the left leg down. Let's do that on the right side. So as you place the left foot down, the low back probably released a little bit. So inhale up, exhale. Find the neutral spine, a little bit of a curve. Intention of the hip points lifting towards the ribs. And then now we'll take the right leg.
thigh is parallel, thigh is perpendicular, creating that right angle, and then your shin is parallel to the ground. Inhale, watch the spine, make sure it doesn't move. Exhale, push all the air out through the breath. Feel that contraction, another deep breath in. Let that go. Press it out. Do that one more time. Place the foot down onto the ground. Take a breath. Let that go. We're going to do that again, but this time using both legs. If it's too much for you, if you're still at the beginning stages trying to develop your core strength, just listen to that. You might need to do one leg at a time once again. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower the back of the ribs down. Find the connection of the hip points and the ribs, drawing together, still natural curve. And then from here, take the left leg up, followed by the right leg. Now, one of the things that typically happens when people do this pose is because having the legs perpendicular is challenging for the core. You're stabilizing the core. What will typically happen is legs will come back like this and the feet will be up towards the sky. You've completely lost your entire midsection. So make sure that your thighs are perpendicular and that the shins are parallel. Those long exhalations, once again, push all the air out. And you'll feel deep in the belly, your transverse abdominis begin to engage. When it becomes too much, you can release. Watch the low back. You've got that little bit of natural curve. Give me one more exhalation if you can. If you've already come out, that's fine. And then when you're done, draw the knees into the belly, giving them a hug. Soften into the low back. Place the feet down onto the ground, roll to your side. Let's come up into a seated position. Warming up our spines even more. So if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, feel free to grab your block. You can sit on that block if you'd like to. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring them down. Watching the spine, inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time, inhale up. This time as you exhale, bring the right arm down. Inhale, reach up through the left and tip over towards the side, opening up through the ribs. Relax the shoulders away. Feel the breath moving into the rib cage. I call this a breath massage. So use the breath to help massage the ribs open. Soften the ribs in, rolling the heart center up towards the sky. Root and ground into the left sit bone as you reach and extend through the left arm. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring the right arm up. Left arm down, reach and extend up as you root through the right sit bone and extend over towards the opposite side. Soften the ribs in, rolling the heart center up, root, reach, breath massage. Inhale, come up. Exhale, back to center. Change the cross of your legs. Inhale, sweep the heart center forward. Exhale, arching back. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, arch back. Moving with the breath, you can close the eyes. Bringing awareness to the spine. A couple more. Find a smile, leading with the heart. And then after your next inhalation or exhalation, settle back into neutral, sitting nice and tall. You do wiggle a little bit, shoulder blades down. Let's work on our feet. So from here, go ahead, you can take your right foot. I want you to take your hands, the palms will come together, and you're going to place that over the top of the foot. And it's kind of like you're breaking bread. So you're rolling like this. So the palms roll across the top of the foot. You can move them towards the toes. Fingers are massaging underneath the foot. I feel good. Just gently massaging. From here, pull the toes back, giving the sole of the foot a stretch, and then press them forward. Pull them back. Stretch them forward. Bringing the foot so that you can see the bottom of it. Just take your thumbs. We'll kind of work from the point of the heel. Work your thumbs up the arch towards the big toe. Just kind of walking them up like little ants. Switching, alternating up each line from the heel to the toe. And when you get to the pinky, I want you to go ahead and you're going to kind of pinch right along the outside of the foot. So pinching along there. And then rub your heel. Beautiful. Let's do that on the other side. So once again, bringing the hands, palms together, gently rubbing across the top of the foot, rubbing underneath the foot. And then pull the toes back. Give the sole of the foot a stretch, and then you can gently kind of arch them under, maybe pull them back again, just kind of whatever feels good. And then we'll start our marching ants. So starting at the heel, you'll take and you'll alternate your thumbs, walking up the foot. If you find a knot, feel free to work into that too. I just traveled right over one. So at that heel, right where the foot connects with the heel, and then when you get to the pinky, you'll pinch the side, starting at the heel. Pinch it up. All right, from here, extend your feet out in front of you. And just a quick little point and flex of the toes, working on our ankle strength and mobility as well. Pull the toes back, point them, pulling back, give another point. Come up, circles. And then reverse directions. Coming into an extended child's pose, walk your hands to the top of the mat, curl your toes under, reach the arms up and overhead, press into the base, the index finger and the thumb. Remember, extended child's pose is actually a very active pose. Reach the hips back, soften and settle into the heart center, opening passively through the chest. Rock from side to side, noticing the spine, bringing your awareness to the spine, that central axis. Toes are curled under so you can continue to stretch the soles of the feet. Few more breaths. Inhale, walk the hands back. Knees are underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Coming into bird dog. Inhale, bring the right leg back. Really squeeze through the right glute. Find the strength there. And then if you can, inhale the left arm up. Press into the right arm. Feel the rebound of energy. Reach. Squeeze the right glute even more. Bringing the right leg up. Ooh, feel the fire through that buttocks. Exhale. Release. Take that to the other side. Left leg up, followed by the right arm. Glutes strong. Reach and extend. Noticing where the movement changes from reaching back out through the toe, out through the crown of the head, keeping your awareness at your navel, your solar plexus. Noticing the crisscrossing of the energy lines. Take that down. Let's do each side one more time. Inhale the right leg back. If this is too much for your wrist, just go ahead and use the leg. Press into the right arm to help reach out of the shoulder. Lift, 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 using the muscles of the glute to help lift the leg up. Bring that down, and then to the opposite side. Lift, lift, lift. Take that down, curl your toes under, walk the hands forward. Once again, coming into extended child's pose. Sway from side to side. With your mind's eye observing the spine from the tailbone all the way out through the crown of the head. Beautiful white bones, space in between, the nerves traveling out into the body. Inhale, come back up to table. Let's do a few cats and cows, warming up the spine a little bit more. Inhale, tailbone reaches up, chest and chin up. Exhale, arching under. Feel free to come onto the fingertips here, really accentuating the upper back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Taking a few at your own pace. Avoiding the urge and the tendency to want to rush. Couple more. And then after your next exhalation or inhalation, settle into neutral. From here, walk your hands back. Get onto the soles of the feet. Relax the body down onto the thighs. Soften the crown of the head down. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Sway from side to side. Engage your glutes. Before we roll up, I want you to lift your feet. Lift the toes. Give them a stretch. See if you can place the pinky down, followed by the second toe, middle toe. You can even kind of press them down, keeping the feet nice and wide. Engage the glutes, sit back a little bit, and then slowly take your ragdoll up. As you ragdoll up, the glutes are strong, kind of one vertebrae at a time, arms hang heavy. Continuing the movement, inhale the arms up and overhead, exhale, hands down to the heart center. Take a moment, find yourself in Tadasana, mountain pose. So as you stand in Tadasana, you want the feet to be parallel to each other. So take a look down at your feet. Palms are open, facing forward, shoulder blades are down and back, heart center's open. Find the feet rooting down towards the earth, tailbone anchoring right between the feet. From here, just simply shift your weight into your left leg. Notice what happens to the hips. Notice what happens to the strength, the stability of the pose. Engage your glute here a little bit. Find it hugging into the body. And come back to the center, both feet even on the ground. And then I'll shift the weight a little bit over towards the opposite direction. Push down into the foot. Find the glute, the supporting leg hugging in. Come back to center. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands down to the heart center. Bring your hands to your pelvis. Bring a little bit more awareness to our spine and where our pelvis is in relationship to our standing pose. So take a look down at your feet. They're still parallel to each other. And if you haven't already, you can turn yourself to face towards me. And I want you to tip the tailbone down. Notice as the pelvis lifts up. Notice what happens to your quadriceps. Come back to a little bit more of a neutral. And now tip the tailbone back. Again, noticing what happens now to the low back, to your quadriceps, to your glutes. Tip it back the other way, tailbone down and forward, hip points lift up, so it's kind of like you're knitting your ribs and your pelvis together. And then take that back. Make that a little bit smaller. What I want you to try to do is begin to find a more even position or a more neutral position for the pelvis. Sometimes we tend to stand either with the pelvis kind of tilting forward this way or in the reverse where it's tucked under and we're contracting through the glutes. And this just has to do with our lifestyle with a lot of sitting. So we really need to bring more awareness to what it actually feels like to be in neutral. So neutral, our sit bones are parallel with the ground. If you wanted to, you could even reach back, grab those little sit bones. See if they're reaching down. The tailbone is gently reaching down. And then you can open the arms out to the side. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. From here, bring the hands to the hips. Let's step our right foot over to the side of the mat. Take your left foot back, parallel to the back of the mat. Nice wide stance here. Hands are extended out from the heart center. Really bringing your awareness to the spine and the pose. Sometimes in this pose, our right hip or the back hip can be hiked up a little bit. So I want you just to gently soften the left hip down. Watch the right knee, make sure it is over the right ankle. And then bring your awareness to the low spine. Make sure that it's coming straight up. If that hip is kind of hiked up a little bit, it's going to create a curve at the low back. So we want to try to find our nice neutral spine so that our body is evenly balanced over our thighs. So again, reach forward here a little bit. Notice what happens. Come back, reach back. Come back. Your goal here is to find a neutral alignment so that you feel balanced over your extended legs. Soft gaze off into the distance. Gauge your left glute, your right glute as you press down into the left foot. Couple of breaths. And then inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, reach over the straight leg, preparing to move into triangle pose. Reach the tailbone down towards the back foot. Find the kidneys opening into the low back. Soften the ribs and roll the heart center up towards the sky. Reach and extend out through the left fingertip. Find the muscles of the legs hugging, helping to strengthen the muscles around the spine. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, turn yourself towards that right foot, coming into Tadasana. From here, let's take it into a chair. Shift the hips back. Finding our glutes engaged. Soften the tailbone down. Sometimes we'll kind of stick the glutes out a little bit. So you want to find, again, a neutral position within your chair pose. So the spine is in its neutral curvature. Engage the glutes, feel that energy, push into the floor and kind of feel that rebound of energy coming up. And then inhale, come up. Exhale to the center. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, come into horseman's pose. Squeeze the knees open, pressing into the pinky edges of the feet. Arches are lifting. To come out of this, think about squeezing the heels together. Inhale, rise. Strengthening through the inner thighs, strengthening our connection with our central axis. Bring the right foot forward, drop the right heel back ever so slightly. Take your left toe towards the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Adjust your stance. I need to go a little bit wider here. Left sit bone tracks towards the heel. Soft gaze. Watch the hips, observe the low spine. Maybe shift forward a little bit, watching the spine as you move back and forth and then reaching back. Make sure that the legs are still stable. And then finding a place of neutrality, balance. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, reach and extend. Triangle pose. Muscle of the legs are strong. Tailbone reaches towards the arch of the back foot. Oh, muscles of the legs hug in. Soften the ribs in. Roll the heart center up. Find a smile. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, turn yourself over the left leg. Step the right foot forward. Take a look down. Feet are parallel to each other. Coming back into chair. As you come into chair, watch your knees. Make sure that they track straight forward. Depending on if you have an imbalance, you may discover that the knees either point in or out a little bit. Soften the tailbone down. Kidneys opening into the low back. Shoulder blades are down. And then engage the glutes. Press into the feet as you inhale, come up. Deep exhalation, roll the shoulder blades back. Beautiful. Inhale, step back with the right leg. Exhale once again into horseman's. Big squat here. Reach the knees back, pressing into the pinky edges of the feet. And then as you come up, think about contracting or drawing the heels together. Feel that strength through the inner thighs. Hold for a moment. And then heel toe the feet back in. Hands still up, prayer. Preparing to move into sapling, basically baby tree pose. Begin to press your weight into the right leg. As you do that, let's make sure that we're not shifting our entire body over to the side. So it's more of a pushing down versus an out. Imagine an anchor coming off the tailbone and then kickstand your left foot. Noticing what's happening here. Find roots growing from the right foot. Gaze is soft and steady. Right glute is gently hugging in. Think about a gentle kind of revolution. It draws down and comes up. Let's take that to the other side. So begin to press down into the left leg. And we're not shifting our weight. The feet are close together. We push down and then kickstand. Root through the left foot. Notice how the body feels. Notice any reactions in the mind. Notice if you're struggling here. If you're struggling here, this is where you'd want to be using your chair. Playing with that. And then release that. Move the right leg in. Extend it down onto the ground. Take a breath. Let's go ahead. I want you to come down. Lift your toes. Give them a stretch, kind of widen the feet, and then place one toe down at a time. Your feet are parallel to each other. A little bit of space in between, not too much though. And then let's begin to press the weight into the right foot. Again, it's a down movement versus an out movement. Down. And then from here, let's lift the left leg. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. If you're struggling with balance, have your chair handy. Soften the ribs in. Deep breaths. Rooting down through the right foot. How does that feel now that you took that time to really spread the toes out on the ground? From here, extend the left leg down. Let's spread the left toes out here a little bit. So come on down, lift the toes, kind of broaden the ball mount away from the heel. Spread the toes down, just the right foot so that it's parallel with the left as you come up. Look down, a little bit of space in between, not a lot. And then press down through the left leg, glute hugs in. Keep everything kind of drawing from this side in towards the spine. And then the right leg comes in. Slowly inhale, beginning to bring that up. And if you can lace the hands around the knees, shoulder blades down and back. If you are struggling at all, take the time to find a chair, find a wall. And then exhale. Extend that down onto the ground. Reestablishing your Tadasana, lift your toes. Place one toe down at a time, spreading them nice and wide. And then root down through the right leg. Tailbone reaches towards the arch of the right foot. We're going to inhale, bring the left leg up. And then exhale, bring the leg back. Hands can simply come to the hips. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, back. Just a gentle pendulum. Watching the hips and the spine as you move. Keep that imaginary anchor dropping towards the arch of the right foot. One more time, we'll inhale, come up. Exhale, place the foot back down. Take a look down at the feet. Spread those left toes. Think about widening the ball mount from the heel. Coming onto the toe of the right. Muscles of the left leg are strong. And then inhale the right leg up. Exhale, swing it back. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Just playing with our balance here. Keep the core gently engaged. It's not a strong contraction, but the core muscles are definitely working here to support us. One more swing back. And then bring that up. Place the foot down. Take a look down, lift the toes, give them a spread. Begin to root now into the into the right foot. Bring the left leg up, shoulder blades down and back. From here, we're going to flip the leg back, opening up the quads. So bring the leg back, holding onto the top of the foot, finding the quadricep opening, roll the left shoulder down and back. So we're not trying to force that forward. Keep that imaginary anchor dropping towards the arch of the right foot. You can bring the right arm out for balance, for a counterbalance. And inhale, bring that leg up. We're not done yet. Shoulder blades down and back. Hold on to the left leg with the left hand. Bring the right arm out for balance. Now we're going to move the left leg out towards the side. So as you move, keep your awareness on the spine. Watch the right leg. The right foot and ankle may begin to dance a little bit, and that's what it's designed to do. That's called balance right there. It's trying to keep all of our nerves connected with the ground, preventing us from toppling over. Keep breathing. Remember, when in doubt, breathe in and breathe out. And then we'll bring the leg back in, arm back in, pause for a moment, extend that leg down onto the ground. All right, let's try that on the other side. So root through the left foot, glutes are engaged, imaginary anchor, lift the leg up, shoulder blades back. Keep finding your balance. If you need that wall or chair, have that accessible. And then let's go ahead, we're going to bring that right leg back. Left arm can open up for balance, shoulder blades down and back. And we'll bring the leg back up. Remember, we're Transitioning on, so keep the leg up, shoulder blades down and back. All right, let's bring the right leg into the right hand. Open the left arm out towards the side for counterbalance, opening the hip out. How does that feel? How are you doing? Come back to center. Extend the leg down. Take a moment to pause. If this is at all challenging for you, what I want you to do is, instead for your practice, is to really bring your awareness to your thoughts. If you're starting to berate yourself or getting angry or frustrating, these are areas to bring more awareness to and points to grow from. So keep that in mind as you're balancing. I've seen a lot of people over the years who really, really struggle with it. And you just kind of need to laugh at yourself. If you fall out of it, it's okay. It's just yoga. This is not a life and death scenario. It's just a simple practice, just trying to create a little bit more awareness in the body, and especially in our minds. So keep that in mind. You're moving into a little bit of a bigger tree pose. So bring the hands to the heart center, lift your toes, press down into the right foot, kickstand the left, anchoring from that tailbone, placing the foot up onto the calf. If this is where you need to stay, be okay with just staying right there. Otherwise, if you'd like a little bit more without leaning forward, because that would throw our central axis off, you want to bring the left leg up and place it onto the thigh of the right leg. Root down through the right foot. Hands out prayer. Check in, are you good here? Otherwise, root through the right leg and then inhale, bring the arms up and overhead, connecting them to the foot, allowing the arms to open up to hopefully a big, beautiful sun. Opening the left leg back just a little bit more. Relax the shoulders away. Soften the ribs down, and then bring the hands back together. Bring them through the heart center. Extend the left leg in. Right comes down onto the ground. Let's do that on the other side. So first, reestablishing our Tadasana, lifting the toes. Pressing into the left leg. Anchoring with the tailbone. Kickstand. Choose to hold here or choose to place the foot on the calf, below the knee, just not on the knee. If you'd like to, without losing your central axis, lift the leg up. Placing the foot on the leg, squeeze the two together. Root through the left foot, and then if it is accessible for you today, allow the arms to pull or to reach up. If you begin to falter, check in with your thoughts. Do you get angry with yourself? This is typically kind of shows our general patterns in life. So see if you can start to change that think habit just a little bit by being kind and gentle. We'll bring the hands back together, allow the hands to come back down to the heart. Bring the leg in and extend it down. Pause. We'll be doing an advanced flow sequence with our balance. So if you feel like you want to just kind of work on this portion, go ahead and fast forward to the end so you can do a cool down and our closing relaxation. Otherwise, you can continue on. So with this portion, we will want a block. So place your block over to the right side of your mat. Turning yourself to face the block. And then from here, begin to root into the right leg, kickstanding left. We're going to be coming back into tree, so to pick the variation of tree that you would like. Rooting here. And then bring the hands back together, down through the heart center. Keeping the left leg up, bring the left leg in, draw it into the body. Roll the shoulder blades down and back. If that right foot's dancing, that's okay. It's working on the strength and stability through that area. From here, we're coming into warrior three. So a little bit of a bend of the right leg. And then we're going to swing the left leg back. Bring the arms into airplane just to help with our balance. Extending the left leg back. As you come into your balance here, keep drawing the heart down and then the back leg up. Squeezing the glute, try to bring the hips somewhat to parallel. So you kind of want to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Open the kidneys into the low back. Find the heart center opening down. Deep breaths. Foot is dancing. And here, let's begin to transition into half moon. Bring the left hand to the hip, right hand to your block. Pressing into the foot, pressing into the block. Open the left hip up towards the sky and then open the left arm up. If it's too much to have the arm up, just bring it down to the hip. Deep breaths. Trying to stack the shoulders. Muscles of the right leg are strong. And if you fall out, just give yourself a good chuckle, okay? It's all right. From here, coming back into triangle. With all the grace we can ease and muster, bringing the left leg back, reach the left arm up. Tailbone reaches towards the arch of the left foot. Inhale, come up. Exhale, step yourself over to the block. Beautiful. We're going to do that on the other side. You can stay this way. For purposes of the video, I'm going to switch to the other side so that you can see me. So standing back in our Tadasana, we'll begin to root into the left leg. Tailbone reaches towards the arch of the left foot. Kickstand the right, moving into tree. So taking your time as you move into tree pose. Opening the arms up. And then we'll bring the hands back down. Keep the right leg up. And bring that back to the center, lacing the hands together around the shin. Coming back into our warrior three. So begin to tip forward. Arms can open out to the side for balance. Keep your awareness on the navel, reaching energy out from the navel, out through that leg. Gaze is soft and steady at the ground. Point the back toe down, try to square the hips out, reach and extend. Heart center continues to become a little bit lower. Deep breaths. Soften the left knee here a little bit, and then bring the left hand down to the block. And then beginning to move into Ardha Chandrasana. So beginning to straighten out the left leg. Make sure the block and your hand are right underneath the shoulder. Reach the right leg up, open the toe towards the front. And then you can inhale the right arm up and overhead. From here, we'll be coming out through triangle pose. So bend the front knee. Gracefully step that back foot down, left hand to the leg, open the right arm up. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn yourself over towards the side of the mat. All right, let's inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, take a dive. Uttanasana, hang out here for a moment. Tailbone reaches up, hamstrings are gently opening. Spine is releasing. Give the quadriceps a contraction. Bend the knees, come back into extended child's pose. Reach the hips back, softening into the heart center, gently rocking from side to side. Deep breaths. And then come back to a full child's pose. Bring the big toes together. Knees come together. If you need a little space, go ahead and take that. And then soften the forehead down onto the ground. Arms come alongside the body. Continuing to hold here. Breathing. Find the breath moving into the back of the body. Taking this time to acknowledge the work that you just did. Taking a moment to give gratitude for your feet, to your ankles, to your legs, all the places that they've brought you in this life and where they will continue to bring you for days to come. Sending the breath there, softness. releasing a little bit more. You can continue to hold child's as long as you'd like to. Otherwise, just gently begin to walk the hands up, bringing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And then inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down to the heart center. Take a moment to bow your head to your heart. Taking this time to give honor to your mind, to give honor to your body, to give honor to your spirit. Namaste.